Tonight is special for a lot of reasons. But tonight, I am proud to share that nobody will ever wear the number 17 ever again. On April 16th, 2020, I received a message right in the middle of COVID from a former teammate who was the athletic director at Waynesburg College in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. He told me there was a pitcher there that was throwing 95 miles an hour. This was in the midst of people trying to find things to do and playing jokes on everybody and just bored with their time. And I went back and forth telling him, okay, quit messing with me. This isn't true, blah, blah, blah. And after phone call after phone call, I spent the next few days trying to find out who is Mason Miller. Okay? Every call, I couldn't believe how our worlds were intertwined, especially with our very close friend, Coach Joe Rinaldi. Ed Santa, longtime friend of mine, longtime scout for the Colorado Rockies in the Pittsburgh area, took my phone call and I asked him about Mason Miller. He said, "Why are you still on the phone with me? Call that kid and sign him." We finally got that call. Mason Miller was going to be a running Bulldog. It was instant impact when you arrived on campus, Mason. Upper 90s fastballs, upper 80 sliders, and a very humble young man that was grateful for every opportunity in front of him. Then came Scout Day, a day that we have every fall where we have almost every major league team represented here on campus to see our players perform. I was asked prior to Scout Day, "Coach, do you have anybody?" I gave my typical response. "I think we have some good players. I really think you need to take a look at a lot of our guys, and I'm interested to hear your feedback and what it might be." As we were in our bullpen, the scouts were talking amongst themselves, little banter going back and forth, discussion about a lot of different things. You proceeded to throw your first pitch, 97 on the black. Everybody stopped. And not another word was said, as everyone was locked in on every pitch that you threw. My favorite part about Scout Day was after the workout, as you were walking out, you asked me, "JC, how do you think I did?" I said, "Pretty good." That was just the beginning. What a season you put together in 2021 as the leader of our pitching staff, as our team had the highest finish in school history in the Big South and broke the school record for conference wins. What a ride it's been so far, Mason. Third-round draft pick, MLB debut on April 19th, 2023, 2024 All-Star game, and countless 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Who knows what's next, Mason? But I know you. I know it'll be accompanied with unparalleled work ethic, laser-focused approach, and putting everything in God's hands at every turn. Mason, let me speak for the room. We're proud of you. We hang on to every pitch you throw. You're an unbelievable role model for all. And you've proven you can accomplish your dreams at Gardner-Webb. Proud to be your coach. I love you, Mason. You know what we think of you, and we know what's ahead of you. Ladies and gentlemen, number 17, Mason Miller.
All righty, we made it. I was going to start with the old good evening, but we're going to skip that. Spare you guys all that. So, happy to be here. Thank you all for being here. We're here to support the program, and I'm honored to be the one that gets to bring us home here. So, through the schedule change and everything, I just want to thank everybody for all the hard work that went into tonight. And I'm really just humbled and honored to be here. I'd like to take the chance to reflect on my journey, but also to celebrate the honor of having my jersey number retired. And I'd like to begin by expressing my gratitude to several people that I think have played pivotal roles along the way. It's most fitting to begin with the person that has been the most integral to me, and that, of course, would be my wife, Jordan. Through countless late-night phone calls and thousands of miles between us, she has always been my rock. She is the calming presence in our world full of up and downs, and I would not be where I am without her unwavering love, support, and compassion. So thank you for helping me become a better man and not be afraid to take the road less traveled. I love you. I'd also like to thank my parents who, from my first breath, they taught me so much about not only myself, but also the world. Thank you for teaching me right from wrong, raising me in faith, and supporting me with love from my first breath. Thank you to Gardner-Webb and all the staff that make each student here make their time not only possible, but also enriching. I'm honored to be cemented into the history of both the baseball program as well as the school. Coaches can be some of the most influential figures in an athlete's life, and I'm extremely fortunate. We saw several of them on the screen a minute ago. I'm extremely fortunate that the perspectives and wisdom that they've been able to bestow upon me have stretched far outside the diamond. And tonight, I'd like to specifically extend my gratitude to Jim Chester for putting this all together and making it possible. He took a chance on me, and I'd say things worked out all right. So thank you. One of the most influential coaches I had, JC touched on, which is Coach Joe Rinaldi. He was a high school coach of mine, and through his close relationship with Coach Chester, was one of the main, if not the biggest reason that I ended up here. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here tonight, but I'd still like to honor him by saying a few words about him. Coach Joe, he was supposed to be here, and I really was looking forward to saying it to him. So sorry. But he used to say, "How are you supposed to get better if you're always the one watching? Go somewhere where you're going to play, and if you're that good, the scouts will find you." And I'm thankful for his lighthearted attitude and his genuine care for every athlete he ever coached, and his impact would span more young men than any of us could count, starting with JC through me and several past me. And teammates are the biggest reason sports are so special. And people from all sorts of places come together, play as a unit, and I'm fortunate that so many of my teammates have become some of my best friends over the course of the years. Specifically, I'd like to thank my teammates from 2021. I'm really honored and moved to have so many of you guys here tonight. It means so much to me, so thank you. Our team was special, and I wish we had a championship to look back on, but I wouldn't change anything about it. The memories and lessons we learned, I wouldn't trade that for the world. And finally, and most importantly, I'd like to thank the Lord in heaven. None of this has happened by accident. Through God's grace, He's blessed me with the guidance and strength necessary to be where I am today. I'm forever grateful for every opportunity, challenge, setback, and victory that He sent my way. I've already achieved more than I could have ever imagined, but I know that His plans for Jordan and I are just beginning. My collegiate career, as we've kind of touched on tonight, I'm going to take you through it from my perspective, but it began at Waynesburg University in southwestern PA, small school, small town, much like this one. I knew I could pitch there as a freshman. That was a big reason that I went there. Shout out to Coach Joe for that advice. And fast forward towards the end of my sophomore season, I was the less than proud owner of a 7 ERA. And so, as many of you can imagine, professional baseball was the furthest thing from my mind. And then in April 2018, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and that shook me to my core. And I kind of was left questioning where I was to go from one of the biggest valleys of my life. With the help of those around me, I was able to make the lifestyle adjustments necessary and realize that I still could do everything that I wanted, most importantly, baseball. And a breakout junior season followed. And heading into my senior year, a few professional scouts started to come around. But at that point, I was still a kid at a D3 school. How realistic was it? And then the COVID shutdown happened in 2020, and at the time I felt like worst case scenario for me. I actually ended up accepting a job that summer and was fully prepared to move on from baseball. But fortunately, we were awarded an extra year eligibility that many of the 2021 team took advantage of. And I found my way down here to Gardner-Webb and spent that summer preparing to make the jump from D3 to D1. And when I first arrived on campus in August, I was anxious to get to work, but initially I found myself questioning if I made the right choice. And one moment in particular stands out. We just finished one of several 6 a.m. workouts where the new baseball building is now, but we used to be crawling around in that grass when I was here. So there I was, 22 years old, had cuts all over my arms, cuts all over my legs, and I was walking back to an old dormitory that I was living in as a 5th-year senior. Sorry, JC, I had to get that one out. As soon as the sun started coming up, I thought to myself, what am I doing? But looking back, I feel like this is a perfect example that God does not always put you where you think you should be. He puts you where he knows that you need to be, and in time that will be revealed to you. So after a couple weeks, my housing situation drastically improved, and we transitioned from boot camp to the ball field. And as the fall finished up, I had no doubts about my ability to compete at the D1 level. This came from grinding with my teammates in the weight room, on the field. And I had a lot of success in inter-squad games that fall, and I'd like to think that was all a product of my hard work. But it couldn't have had anything to do with the fact that my teammates, probably more than a few of them, had been up way too late the night before. And they know who they are. So we put together a strong season that spring, but unfortunately we did end up coming up short. I hadn't realized that it was as good of a season as it was in school history, so we're definitely proud of that, but I know I look back on it and think about what it could have been. But my focus quickly turned to preparing for post-collegiate baseball, and a few months later I was blessed to see my name called in the 2021 MLB draft by the Oakland Athletics, and Neil Avent is here tonight. He scouted me and ultimately helped the A's select me, so I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity, believing in me, and allowing me to do what I do. And I would say the draft was probably one of the most rewarding moments along my journey outside of the debut, just because it allowed me to take a moment, think about all the stops that I'd had along the way, all the ways that my journey could have went differently, and how fortunate and how thankful I was to be where I was. But quickly, my goals shifted from being drafted to being able to debut at the highest level. And in the minor leagues, I dealt with a couple injuries, and I was really fortunate to make my way through those and make my debut in 2023 with the Athletics. But after just 4 starts, I once again found myself on the injured list and found myself asking, why was this happening to me? I dealt with so many injuries at that point, about 3 years in a row. Really hadn't had any problems till then, and it's like I finally got to pro ball, everything I've been working for, and I was just stuck watching. But it's a lot harder to say when you get hurt, why not me? Why wouldn't it happen to me? And that's an opportunity in those moments where your mental fortitude allows you to take challenges head on, or it can allow for you to get the best of them. And I have without a doubt made the biggest strides in my career in those times where I was rehabbing from an injury. You figure out a lot of stuff about yourself, and I think if you go in with the right attitude, that's some of the most opportunistic times in your career. All the challenges I've faced in my journey did not make it easier by any means, but each mountain and valley that I've experienced has been a part of my story. None of them are defining to me, but each played a part in me becoming who I am today. And now I'd like to finish by sharing some of the most important things that I think I've learned along the way. First, free will does not come with the freedom of consequences. Free will is a gift that is first given to us by God, and we're also lucky enough to live in a nation where freedom is a standard. Many around the world are not so lucky, so I encourage and invite you to strive to challenge you all to display humility in success and resiliency in failure. And lastly, no one is able to walk this life alone. So I encourage you to surround yourself with people that challenge you, support you, and inspire you to be better than you were yesterday. The right people want to see you succeed, but they also keep you grounded in those times that you do succeed. Proverbs says that iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. As such, I choose to surround myself with those who strengthen my faith, sharpen my character, and allow God's light to guide their journey. And I would invite and encourage you all to do the same. Thank you so much.